It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life brings you interviews with some of the most inspirational and influential people in the world. It's our goal to educate and empower you so you can live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. We have another great show for you today. Our reliance on technology is rapidly changing how each of us experiences life. We're facing new issues and difficulties, we're encountering new emotional triggers, and we're relating to each other in new ways. People now find themselves caught in the trap of these miraculous tools we've created. Today's guest, Nancy Colier, offers a path for making use of the virtual world while still feeling good, having healthy relationships, and staying connected with what is meaningful in life. She's the author of The Power of Off, the mindful way to stay sane in a virtual world. Welcome, Nancy. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Nancy, with technology today, we're plugged in 24/7. It's a virtual world, and it's getting worse, and we are truly addicted. I mean, at least I know I am. So what do you think today's devices are doing in our lives? Why do they have so much power over us?
Well, I think you're saying you're addicted is honest, something that most people don't admit. Most of us are walking around, as you're saying, as full-on addicts. The only thing that's different is that we've all drunk the Kool-Aid. You know, an addiction used to put you outside society, outside the norm. Now it actually makes you an insider. So we're facing a very difficult addiction, but completely manageable at the same time. What I think is happening, and I've been really studying this for some time now, is technology is not doing anything, is the truth. What technology is appealing to and seductive for is this reptilian brain inside each one of us. We all have a wise, discerning self, and we have this reptilian nature that loves pleasure, loves addiction, loves anything that's easy and distracting and takes us out of the moment. We are suckers for that. So this technology, our devices, is the perfect tool for that part of us. And what's happening is some part of our wiser self, you could say, is starting to wake up now and say, maybe living through this less evolved, this more primitive part of myself that just wants to check out all the time, and maybe living with that part of us making the choices is not leading us to a sense of well-being.
Well, Nancy, as with any addiction, before we can enact change, we need to understand what's happening to us. And I think I recognized it for the first time when in the middle of the night, I woke up for whatever reason. And rather than rolling over and going back to sleep, I turned to my nightstand, grabbed my cell phone, and I started checking emails and Facebook and whatever else. And I said to myself, what is wrong with you? So now I try to make change. So what type of evaluation tools do you offer to help other people recognize what's happening?
Well, I'm glad to hear, though, that you actually said what's happening to me.
Oh, my God. It's too much.
Because 90% of 18 to 29-year-olds sleep with their phone because they don't actually consider that to be odd to check in the middle of the night. And I have numerous clients who check multiple times through the night. And one of the things that I start to ask people are just the very basic questions you would ask anyone about an addiction, which is, when you can't get on, when you can't use, do you experience withdrawal symptoms? Do you get edgy? Do you get anxious? Are parts of your life that, used to bring nourishment to you, hobbies, friends, other activities you were involved in, are they starting to shrink as your life becomes more and more narrowed onto the addiction of choice? Are you continuing to use despite a negative impact in your health or your work life or your social life, any of those things? And the big one essentially is, do you want to cut down but won't, can't, aren't doing it? So if you ask most people about those questions, most people have 2 to 3 yeses for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And, right now, if a child born, for example, in 2013, by the time he's 7, he will have spent a year of his life looking at a screen. Mm-hmm. And we're now living in a world where it's considered reasonable behavior to wear diapers in a gaming club so you don't have to interrupt your gaming to go to the bathroom. Mm. So we're definitely, people ask me all the time, are our kids going to grow up as future addicts? And I always laugh because the idea that, we would be future addicts is entirely absurd. So one of the things that I work with people on is to start to recognize how technology is actually making them feel. That's one of the things, that we're starting to lose. We're starting to assume that this is now the normal way to feel. Anxious all the time, overwhelmed all the time, missing out all the time. These are so I call it kind of the AOL syndrome, anxious, overwhelmed, and lacking. But when you start to put people back in touch with, is your life working for you? Is having to spend that much of your time on the technological tasks? Is that bringing a state of well-being? Is it leading you to feel anxious? How is it for you to be available 24/7? People in my office now, it's really fascinating. A good number of people leave their phones on in their 1 hour of therapy a week, because they don't feel they can, even for that 1 hour, that they have the right to turn off. So you start to ask people to check in with, is this working for you? Are you feeling like this is the life you want to be living? What we put our attention on and where we place our time investment, that's what we're saying is important in our lives. Is this really what you want to be setting up as your priority in your life? Are you feeling more connected? Is life getting easier for you? See, one of the things that I think is also very encouraging is that the mythology about technology is starting to crack. So the gap between kind of the way it was sold, it makes life easier, it makes life more connected, it makes life all the wonderful, more fun, it's starting to crack. People are not having that experience of it.
So we see the problem, and I'm sure just about everyone that's listening right now sees the situation and understands it. So now what? How do we begin the detox?
So what we want to do is, first of all, we really have to set an intention and get clear on the fact that we want to make some changes in our life regarding technology, and that these are habits. We've set up some really negative habits, and habits can be broken and changed when we recognize that this is not working. So at the very beginning, what we're doing is, before I provide in the book a full 30-day detox where, we cut down on certain things every day. But at a very, very basic level, we start to notice how many times in a day we get that thought that says, oh, I could check, or, I could shop for a chandelier right now, even though I don't need a chandelier. All these ways that we grab onto technology to distract ourselves. Each time one of those comes down the pike, just note, is this habit speaking? Is it need? Is it something to do with work I need to do? Or is it just, I want out of this moment? And if it's habit, you just simply refrain. No, I'm setting up some new habits. I'm not going to take the bait on this one. If it's work, go ahead. If it's needed. And if it's this, I just want out of what I would have to feel right in this moment if I didn't use. I might have to be with myself for a moment. I might have to be in an empty space where I don't have anything specific to do. If that's the case, then just allow yourself to feel, what would I have to feel if I didn't use right in this moment? And can I feel that? Can I feel that in my body? Whatever it is, can I allow myself to feel, instead of just habitually taking the impulsive thought there and running with it. So I'm encouraging people just to start with some basic awareness exercises of, feel what it feels like to not take the bait. And gradually what starts to happen is we get more interested. Most people now, adults and children, they have a minute alone. They get on, they check their email, they do something. So just in that minute, get interested in what's here if I don't feel this space.
The book is The Power of Off, The Mindful Way to Stay Sane in a Virtual World. If you would like to get more information about this topic or Nancy and her work, you can visit nancycolier.com. Nancy, in our final moments, what's the takeaway? What do you want to leave our listeners with?
Very, very exciting message, which is we can actually have a healthy relationship with technology. We can be the ones deciding how we want to use technology, not technology deciding how we're going to be used by it. And what it requires is bringing some mindful attention to what kind of life you want to live and how we can start changing our behaviors. It's really up to us, so much so, and we've begun to believe that we have to do whatever technology tells us to do, but it's false. We can actually start making some decisions about what really nourishes us, what really makes us feel like we're living a life of value, what makes us feel well. And we want to get our technology choices into alignment with those larger priorities. And it's very doable.
Nancy, thank you so much for being here and for talking about why we all need to unplug in order to eliminate negative habits, take back our power, and stay sane in today's digital world. And I promise I am not going to check my phone as soon as the interview's done.
Congratulations. Glad to hear it.
We'll be right back. Hi, this is Joan Herman, host of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Did you know that Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life has a free monthly digital magazine that can be read online or emailed to your inbox? Every month, nationally recognized leaders in their field provide information to educate, inspire, and motivate you. We believe in a holistic approach to life, incorporating mind, body, and spirit. Check out a copy of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life 24/7. Visit cyacyl.com and be sure to tell your friends. Thank you for joining us. I hope you found the show informative. At Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life, we believe that knowledge is power. Take what you've learned, apply it, and live your best life now. Remember that the information provided are the opinions of our guests and should never replace the advice of a professional who knows your personal situation. If you'd like more information, visit our website, cyacyl.com. While on the site, listen to past shows on demand, read the digital magazine, take part in our book club, check out the team, and be sure to follow us on social media. Tune in next week when my guest is Dr. Tara Allman, who will be here to provide strategies to help us make the most of the second half of life. Until next time, this is Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.